one of the biggest issues here in the Northwest. Both Oregon and Washington lawmakers, they're trying to come up with ideas, trying to figure things out to push forward during this upcoming legislative session. Today, in fact, a group of Washington Republicans put forward some ideas. Kyle Aboshi is live for us in the newsroom. Kyle, this is an issue that affects so many people.
Indeed, Dan, homelessness is certainly not just an issue that impacts big cities like Seattle and Portland. It's happening in small towns all over the Northwest. Today, 4 Washington Senate Republicans held a news conference to lay out ideas to help solve the homeless crisis. Their bills will focus on 4 areas, really: housing security, recovery from substance abuse and mental illness, restoration and self-sufficiency for people living on the streets, and public safety. Some of the proposed ideas would call for more shelters, funding homeless diversion programs, and tougher penalties for the illegal sales of the potent painkiller fentanyl.
The crisis of homelessness is, in many ways, a humanitarian crisis that is of utmost public urgency to address. Moving forward, we must work together across our communities and across party lines. The people of Washington are counting on us to do so.
Governor Jay Inslee has proposed tapping into the state's emergency savings to give cities and counties funding for shelters, but that would require a 2/3 majority vote, which House and Senate leaders say would be pretty tough. Here in Oregon, House Speaker Tina Kotek told the Oregonian she's working on a bill to allocate $40 million for new shelters. She wants lawmakers to declare a homeless state of emergency. That would make it easier for local governments to build shelters here in the state of Oregon.
Thank you, Kyle.